Hey, Nadeem in Forest Hills, New York. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut transitions brown lenses with anti-glare for your new RayBan 2132-902, which is the classic tortoise in the 52 eye size. Let's go ahead and open everything up. Take it out. Come on out. Come on out. I know you want to come out. I know you do. I know you do. It's been a long ride from Italy, but that's all right. So your Italian leather RayBan case, your frame, your RayBan cleaning cloth, and a little junk mail because you just don't get enough of it in your regular mailbox, so they're going to put it there. But this is your frame. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping from Italy. And of course, I'm going to have that on there for you when I ship to you, and you're going to get all the manufacturer's original packaging, including the box, including the lens packet, so you know you're getting the authentic Transition 7 signature lenses. Now these are the heavy glass RayBan lenses that come with it. I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to install lightweight, unbreakable, bulletproof lenses to go in there in its place. So I'm going to take your frame, put it into the tracing out of my edger. I'm going to have to hit a couple buttons here. Give me one moment. Do a little programming. You know, there's so much involved with this. So everybody wants to know, how does the computer know what shape lens to cut? This is why. A little stylus pops up, goes around and traces the shape of the right lens before moving over and doing the same thing for the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy genuine, authentic RayBan frame, and you receive one free pair of clear prescription lenses, or in your case, non-prescription fashion lenses. Of course, my receipts have my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or not, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether or not these are prescription or not. And of course, these are not, and you pay the upgrade to the transition lenses and to the anti-glare, and that's all that you're paying for. So that is the shape of, that green diagram is the shape of the lens. I always work with it while it's magnified. Now I'm going to take the first lens out of its protective packet, pull that out, and I'm going to place it onto the platform. Let's get the second one ready. Now, this is a block. I like to call it Jenny from the block. I have to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. That's what's going to hold it in place in the edger. So I need to use a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got a couple of them up here. I'm going to stick this, the black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the first block. Let me grab a second one. Now on the back side is that silver button is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice, and I'll show you in just a moment as I pull the paper off to make the black side sticky. But that magnet is going to correspond to the one in here. I'm going to get the lens lined up. You can actually see the darker outer edges, but as long as this is large enough. Now if these were prescription, I would put a dot on the center. I'd label these left and right, but this doesn't matter. Either one of these could be the left or the right. So I'm going to place it on the platform, hit that button. The block's going to come down and be applied to, let's call this the right lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for what we will call the not right lens. So again, silver button corresponds to there. Get the lens lined up as long as it's not upside down, but with the convex surface facing upwards. Hit the button. The block comes down and is now applied to your left lens. So, oops, I got to get my... Oops, hang on, come out here, let me get my flashlight. All right, you're seeing too much behind the scenes, the actual retail floor. Okay, this is the actual cutting wheel. This is what's, let me back up. This is the edger. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy one, and then they can cut their own lenses at home. You won't need me anymore because I'm going to show you how you do it. But the main cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material to the final size. This wheel in the center, that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now the magnet, as I spoke about, is going to do its job a second time. It's going to hold it in place into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. I'm going to pop up the shape onto the screen there, and these are polycarbonate lenses. That's why it is PC. I'm going to cut this on the soft cycle. I do not want to polish the lenses. I do not want to put a bevel on the front surface of the lens, only the rear surface of the lens. I'm going to hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp will shut, And the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that this lens is large enough to fit into the frame. But it's also going to go around twice, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness. And of course, with your prescription, you're going to have no edge thickness. Now, as you see, the cutting wheel moves into place. Also, as you can see, there is water running in the background, but polycarbonate cuts dry. The water is only there to collect optical sawdust. Now, plastic and high index plastic have water splashed onto the lens the entire time during the cutting cycle. This will only do this at the very end to wash away any optical debris. So that is your lens cutting. Now, as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to .22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you're going to have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in intense exposure to the sun, this is permanent and will never need to be reapplied. So it's just double checking its measurements. It's its own check and balance system to just verify where the bevel needs to be placed. And then it's going to drop back down. If you notice, your lens is completely flat like a nickel. If I were to take it out, it would stand up on the counter on its own. Now it's getting the knife-like bevel being applied towards the edges. A very dull knife like myself, but a knife-like edge nonetheless. Your lens is going to be so sharp it might be able to cut a piece of wet tissue, providing you soak that tissue in a bucket of water overnight and then press down very hard. Now I'm going to show you with the Transition Signature 7 brown lenses, but I'm going to talk about the super hydrophobic anti-glare coating. Anti-glare is 3 features in one. The first feature, it eliminates glare, especially driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights. Now, it's also an anti-reflective coating. It goes by the initials ARC. So when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, they see just your eyes. So it makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if someone takes a picture of you with a flash, you don't see the flash lit up in the lens, you see just your eyes. Now, the third feature that I like is it comes with the hardest scratch coating in the business. The machine that applies the anti-glare coating costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to apply. So because of the time and the expense of applying that coating, they put the industry's best scratch protection to protect their time and investment. Now, the right lens is done. We'll see if it's done. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. Using my thumbs, push down at the nose, it snaps right in. Now let me go ahead and do the same thing for the left. Let's put that in there, flip that over to L, and hit start just like before. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens again is going to be traced by those 2 white styluses. We're going to trace the front and back at the same time, making sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And of course, it's going to go around twice to measure edge thickness. As I mentioned before, forgive me for repeating myself, but to know exactly where to place the bevel so the lens fits best inside the frame. And of course, you have no edge thickness whatsoever because these are non-prescription fashion lenses. But if these were a very strong prescription, I could move the bevel, forward or backward so you have the best cosmetic fit possible, of which you don't have to worry about in these. And as I mentioned, you will be getting the original package to know this is the younger brand Transition 7 brown lenses with a super hydrophobic anti-glare coating, AR coating, anti-reflective. Hydrophobic meaning, literally from the Greek, hate water, water hating. And you can get these wet. It's just that, just like when you wax your car and it rains, it beads right off. Any liquid you apply to your lens, rain or anything to clean it, is going to bead right off. So, less smudges. I'm going to provide you with one of my, of course you're going to get the RayBan cleaning cloth that comes with this, but I'm also going to include one of my own premium microfiber cleaning cloths. It's all you'll ever have to use. Plus, I say that, but I'm also going to include cleaning instructions, not only for your eyeglasses, but for your leather case and cleaning cloth, so they will last you for years. No other seller on the internet does that, as I am told by my faithful followers, but I do that. I also send out a selfie request to have your picture on the website. Now, you don't have to, but I'm going to ask because I'm proud of the work that I do, and I would love to have some models out there modeling what they have purchased from me. Of course, that all started a few years ago when patients came to pick up their frames. I would take a picture of them just to put on a digital picture frame here at work. And then over time, I ended up with hundreds and hundreds, possibly 1,000 smiling faces. And it's entertaining for the patients who come in here. Now, you see how the water's splashing on there? It does it for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle. But as I was saying, it's entertaining for the patients while they're getting an adjustment, or if I'm tightening a screw or replacing a screw. They like to look at the digital picture frame because in an ADD world, I see a picture change every couple of minutes, couple seconds. But they also want to see if they recognize anyone. Plus, it's a valuable tool for selling the glasses. People say, hey, that's an awesome pair. I want a pair like that. And that's where the purpose of having your selfie request on the website, so they see what real people look like wearing the product. Not some imaginary model from Europe, which, hey, you may be, but... And now in just a moment, your lens is done. I'm going to open the door with my mind. You like that? I can do other things with my mind. I can actually melt ice with my mind. I can. It just takes a little while, but I can do it. Alright, so I'm going to run my thumbnail around the edge just to make sure all the optical debris has been removed. Pick your frame up. Tuck the left lens in at the outside corner. Push down with my thumbs. Hey, it snaps right in and off comes the block because of that anti-glare coating. But let's go ahead and clean this up. And here's the time in every video that I mention that when you get these in the mail, there's a very small chance that these could be too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set it on the counter and press down, and there is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and press down, there is no wobble. And for those of you keeping score, but they sit level on me, but for those of you keeping score at home, after 5 years of wearing this frame in the 52 eye size, every video you've seen up until the last couple, I've been wearing this frame in various colors. I've now switched to the Versace 3199 in color 5118, which is the dark blue Havana. Alright, enough about me. Let's flip this over, press down, there is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. And they're not askew in any way. Same amount of tension on each hinge. Now this is what your lenses look like clear. I'm going to go ahead and activate them, meaning that I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light. Now, I'm going to do that over here in my little transitions box. And as you will see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside of a building. It takes about 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now, Nadeem, pay attention. This is important. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until, providing they're exposed to the sun, until they reach their final hue. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're behind the windshield in a traditional car. Your windshield has UV protection so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun all day. Now, they're also temperature sensitive, meaning when it's 85 and 90 degrees and below, they're going to get darker than they will when it's in the triple digits. I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody likes to work 100% when it's over 100 degrees outside. And this is what it looks like the first time that your Transitions brown lenses with the super hydrophobic anti-glare coating have been activated. Oops, now you can see what they look like. I was holding this up to show you, yes, they are Transitions brown, but I don't know why I need to show you this when you can see the lens is brown. So that's what I can do. If anyone else has any questions about what's possible, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Nadeem in Forest Hills, New York. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut transition brown lenses with anti-glare coating for your RayBan 2132 New Wayfarer color 902, which is the classic tortoise in the 52 eye size. If it's not too dark, that's what the tortoise looks like. I know it's very dark inside here, but when you hold it up to the light, that's when you see the tortoise color. So that's that, and hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.